I'm here with Stuart Frye, who's the Vice President of Content here at Udacity. Stuart, thank you so much for talking to us today.
Absolutely.
So Stuart's going to talk to us a bit about the business side of educational technology. I know many people are interested in seeing if they can develop something they could spin off into a startup. So Stuart, for any of our students who are interested in going into the startup world or into the ed tech world, the business side of things, what should they know about what it's like to work in this space?
I think it's one of the most interesting and exciting places to start a new business or launch an innovation right now. But it's also a very complex place to think about as a market. Education is one of the places where you have multiple users, and your end user is not always the person who is making the purchase decisions about the product. So if we think about the spectrum of education from preschool up to higher ed, you have parents, you have teachers, you have students, you have administrators, and the different products that are being launched across K-12 and higher ed are targeted in some way at a mix of those people, and identifying who are your end users, who are your gatekeepers, and who are making the ultimate purchase decisions can be one of the most complex set of decisions you make about your business model, as well as the features and functionality you're going to design the product around.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. I think that, especially as an educator myself, I always think about the student as my consumer, but that's not the person you end up selling to. That's the person who ends up using your tool. But
Right.
And oftentimes what they think about your tool is not the ultimate issue. I mean, learning can be frustrating, and
Yep.
it's the only domain I know of where frustrating your end user can sometimes actually be part of the goal.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I know that some of our students have project ideas already, but some of them are probably looking for ideas. They know they want to go into this space, but they don't know exactly what to do. So are there any open issues, open problems you think that would be worth tackling?
Yeah, I mean, I think as you think about problems to solve, in the education space, I think your solutions are going to fall in a couple of categories. One is a content category. So that's where Udacity plays, right? We are creating content that we're making available as part of an online master's degree program or as part of our nano degree programs. In addition to content, there are tools. So tools either for students, maybe it makes students more productive, a better way to take notes, develop projects, tools for teachers, a better way to discover new content, track data, analyze students. And I think between content and tools, you need to think about which area your solution lies best in. I also always encourage entrepreneurs to think about a problem you've faced immediately. So if you haven't spent any time in a classroom as an educator, you might think about tackling a problem that students face because you have spent time as a student. On the other hand, David, you've spent a ton of time as an educator and you probably have a long list of problems that you'd like solved. So I would start there when you think about coming up with a solution or a business idea.
Yeah, makes sense. I think that in some ways, when you're designing for yourself as a customer, it's a good place to start. Although you never want to design your entire project that way because you'll design something that's great for you but doesn't work for anybody else.
Right, and I think that emphasizes the importance of user testing at the very earliest stages. I mean, any ed tech idea that you have should start as wireframes, pencil sketches, balsamic, mock-ups that you get out in front of people, see how they react, test an idea very early and often, rather than, to your point, designing an end-to-end solution that works perfectly for you as an individual, but doesn't have product market fit more broadly.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's say it's the end of the semester, day after the final project is due, and now the students are wondering, what do I do next? What do you think the first step that they should take when the semester is over to maybe scale their project up into a business or a startup should be?
Oh, wow. Yeah, so this gets back to user testing. I would identify 20 people that could be the end user of your product and go out and get some version of it in their hands. And when I say a version of it, I do mean it could be a wireframe, it could be a mock-up, it could be a prototype in Photoshop, or you could have written some code and build out a very simple working version. But step one is to get it out in front of people, because I guarantee you your solution will change and evolve over time, and the more quickly you can get input beyond your own, the better. And finding those people to test with isn't always easy, but I think within the context you have, I mean, you're on a university, or you're surrounded by a community of students at least, virtually you can find a lot of people quickly.
Yeah, I think that because we're in this community and because I think a lot of the projects that our students develop will actually be targeted at the OMS program because it's what they experience. You've got 3,000 people sitting around experiencing the same thing you're experiencing who might be willing to test it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I can also share that for the NSF iCore project, which seeks to turn academic research into real-world businesses, one of the first things they ask all their participants to do is find 100 customers in 1 month and talk to all of them for half an hour.
Wow.
And
Do they have to be paying customers?
I don't think, no, not paying customers yet, but 100 potential customers.
Okay.
So for this, it would be talk to 100 parents, students, teachers, principals, get the full range of perspectives on that. So,
Okay.
And yeah, they really value that side of things as well.
Awesome.
So, do you have anything last to share with our students about working in this field?
I think we often say that there are two big fields that have yet to be disrupted by technology, education and healthcare. Two pretty important ones, right? I would say that disruption is a word that's often overused and misused, but when you boil down some of the key tenets that Clay Christensen talks about when it comes to disruptive technologies, one of those tenets that I personally find most exciting, I think offers the most promise to powerful solutions in education technology is non-consumption. If you think about the fact that in the United States, only 1 in 3 adults has a 4-year degree, and internationally, only about 7% of people end up with an advanced degree. The number of people that the things you build could impact, if you go over and after those people who are least well served by the existing system today, the non-consumers of quality education today, people who can't benefit from the system as it's built, that's a huge number of people, and it's a massive impact. So look for those non-consumers, look for those opportunities to help people who aren't being helped today, and you'll build great products.
That sounds also like part of the foundation, part of the philosophy behind this program in general is find the people who may not be, the underserved people in some underdeveloped countries, but are the people who currently can't access quality higher education based on geographic or family or
economic.
Business. Yeah, exactly, constraints.
Yeah.
So, great. Thank you so much for talking to us today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Hope anything I said is helpful, and hope you build amazing things. Good luck.
And thanks, y'all.